Today, we're applying that lens to Google Business Profile. Specifically, of everything you could do to a profile, what actually moves it, and what's just busy work that feels productive. Welcome to GrowifyLabs. We run SEO in some of the most competitive verticals there are: iGaming, finance, crypto. And the thing those markets teach you is how to tell a real ranking signal from a story people tell each other at conferences. Google publishes this, and most people optimizing profiles have never read it. Local results are based on three things: relevance, distance, and prominence. Relevance is how well your profile matches the search. Distance is how far you are from the searcher. Prominence is how well known and trusted your business appears to be. That's the whole framework. Everything real that you do to a profile strengthens one of those three. If a tactic doesn't map to one of them, be suspicious of it. And notice the middle one, because it's the one nobody wants to hear. Distance isn't optimizable. You cannot make your business closer to the searcher. It's structural, which means the entire game is relevance and prominence, and how far your prominence can stretch your visible radius. Here's where most profiles are quietly losing. Your primary business category is the single most influential relevance signal on the profile. Industry survey data in 2026 puts it at the top of the list. It functions less like a keyword and more like a filter. It tells Google which race you're even entered into. If you're a personal injury lawyer and your primary category is just lawyer, you've entered the general race and you're competing with every solicitor in the city on a query you should own outright. The practical move is unglamorous. Look at who's ranking in the top three for your money query and look at what primary category they're using. If all three are using a category you're not, that's not a coincidence. That's the filter you're on the wrong side of. Then the rest of relevance is completeness: services listed properly, business description that describes the business, hours accurate, and hours matter more than people think because Open Now acts as a filter on a lot of local queries. Prominence is the elastic one. It's the reason a business slightly further away can outrank a closer competitor, and it's the only lever that widens your visible radius. Google says prominence is based on how well known a business is, including how many websites link to your business and your reputation across the web. Reviews, citations, brand mentions, links. Whitespark's 2026 Local Search Ranking Factors survey, which is practitioner consensus rather than Google, so treat it as a strong signal, not gospel, puts roughly 32% of local pack influence on Google business profile signals, around 20% on reviews, and about 15% on on-page website signals. Sit with that split for a second. Your profile and your reviews together account for roughly half the weight. That's where the work is. This is the piece I most often see missing, and it's the cheapest thing on this list: uploading photos, publishing Google business posts, responding to reviews, all of them, not just the good ones, keeping the Q&A section answered. Google's own guidance explicitly recommends managing and responding to reviews and adding photos that showcase your business. The pattern practitioners report, and this is observed practice, not Google documentation, is that consistently active profiles outperform dormant ones with otherwise similar signals. It makes intuitive sense. An actively maintained profile is evidence of an actively operating business. The honest framing: this is not a hack, and it won't outrank a genuinely more prominent competitor on its own. But it's low cost, it compounds, and most of your competitors have abandoned their profile after setup. When two profiles are otherwise close, activity is a real differentiator. Two things matter here that are different from general SEO. First, geographic relevance. For local prominence, a link or citation from something genuinely tied to your area: the local chamber, a regional publication, a local supplier, a community organization you actually sponsor, carries a kind of signal that a generic high authority link doesn't. You're not just proving authority, you're proving your asterisk of that place. Second, consistency. Your name, address, and phone number need to match everywhere they appear. This is boring and it's real. Inconsistent NAP data across citations is one of the most common quiet problems we find in a local audit. Here's the discipline we apply from the competitive verticals. Citations and local links are worth doing properly and worth doing slowly. Blasting a few hundred directory listings is the local equivalent of a cheap link package. It doesn't build prominence, it just builds noise you may later have to clean up. If you want to be systematic about it, rather than optimizing in the dark, the sequence is: 1. Check their primary category against yours. That's the filter. 2. Compare profile completeness, field by field. Services, description, attributes, hours, photos. 3. Compare review profile, not just count, which we'll get to in another video, but recency and response rate. 4. Compare activity. When did they last post? When did you? 5. Compare local link and citation footprint, and specifically geographically relevant ones. Whatever the biggest gap is, that's your next month of work, not everything at once. To summarize honestly, distance you can't change. Relevance is mostly category and completeness, and it's fixable this afternoon. And prominence is the long game, where reviews, activity, and genuinely local links compound. There's no trick underneath it. There's a framework Google publishes, and most people skip. If you want to know where your profile actually stands against the competitors you're losing to, that's the kind of thing our detailed audit is built for. The link's below. Thank you for listening. If this was useful, follow GrowifyLabs. We publish multiple videos on topics like this every week. And tell us in the comments what you've seen. Has activity on a profile moved anything measurable for you, or do you think it's overrated? We read every reply, and we're genuinely interested in the disagreements.